Okay, but where is she? I mean, is it just me? Jackie, help me. Mm-hmm. We have to find the girl. I don't need to figure out what she's thinking right now. I need to find her and get her to safety. If she was upset that night and went out and sat on her front porch, if she went outside in the front yard, where the hay is she now?
Facts are, this starts in Tallahassee, Florida, a city known for many other reasons besides murder. A college town, home of the Florida State Seminoles and the FAMU Rattlers, with beautiful scenery and amazing parks, also known as the capital, Florida's capital. But rumor has it, it took police far too long to bring awareness to her disappearance, and her parents, well, her mom garnered scrutiny from social media posts, and dad disappeared.
For being with us, when I think of this little girl, 12, so upset about a bad grade, and now she's missing, and she was immediately described as a runaway. It's been 8 months.
Who is she? Lori Paige, only 12 years old when she went missing. Her disappearance would capture police attention, and she would get a missing persons poster reading Missing Runaway Juvenile, June 3rd, 2023. In bold letters, it also read, No foul play suspected. On the night of June 2nd, 2022, Andrew Wiley went to work, leaving Lori home alone as he did many nights. But when he returned, Lori had vanished. Although these stories are often focused on the people around the victim, the story is indeed the victim's story. In this case, Lori's. Lori Paige, born April 14, 2011, often described as quiet, smart, well-mannered. Lori spent her earlier years with her mom and her mom's relatives briefly. Later in life, she started doing summer visits in Florida with her dad. And in 2022, Miranda would fail to pick Lori up. Her summer visits turned into a permanent stay. According to police, Miranda reported this was due to unforeseen troubles with school and finances. Miranda White, Lori's mom, she was 29 in 2022, a medical student, studying to be a doctor, left Lori with Andrew Wiley, a correctional officer. Lori's dad, Andrew, was 34 in 2022, and he lived here with the 12-year-old.
And I knew that she wanted to be there and that he wanted to keep her because, and one day prior to this incident, one day he got frustrated with me and he said, come pick her up. I said, say no more. And when they realized that I was coming to pick her up, they begged me. They said, no, like, please, I'm going to keep her. Like, it's not that I want you to get her. I said, no. I'm going to come pick her up because you're not going to use this car every time you get mad at me because I'm in professional school and I don't have time to drive 500 miles just because you get mad with me. If you're going to keep her, keep her. If you're not, give her back. This is not hard. So when you say come get her, I'm going to come get her. When they call me at the school and they say come pick her up, I go pick her up. When they call me at the summer camp and they say come get her, I come get her because one thing about me, I will go get her. I will get my child. I don't have no problem getting my child. And I had this child her whole life. So if you do not want her, far be it from me to leave her where she is unwanted. Because she is very wanted in certain circles. Very wanted, very loved, very appreciated.
Andrew enrolled Lori in school. He arranged babysitters for the night. He figured it out just as Miranda had did in the previous years. This change affected the relationship the three shared. Lori felt Miranda had abandoned her. She barely knew Andrew, so that in itself was awkward, if nothing else. Miranda and Andrew began arguing about her access to Lori. She believed he was interfering with their relationship. With Andrew and Lori at odds, Lori ran away on May 8, 2023. Although Lori couldn't bear going home, she wouldn't miss school. It's reported she showed up with no shoes.
The story that I was told by her father and by TPD was that she went to school the next day, which sounds like Lori. Lori loves school. Lori's always loved school. Lori has had perfect attendance forever. And on the very few occasions where she does not feel well and she says she don't want to go to school, I don't make her go because that's not like her, right? She really must be feeling well. We're going to the doctor. At that point, if Lori doesn't want to go to school, we're going to the doctor. So she went to school, and the story that I'm told is that she didn't have on any shoes.
You guessed it. Lori was turned over to Andrew Wiley. It was discovered Lori stayed in an abandoned apartment at the Social Seminole when she ran away the first time. On the 25th of May, White traveled from Tennessee to Tallahassee, demanding to see Lori. Police would be called to the home, and Miranda would leave without Lori. This was after police deemed Miranda the aggressor. According to Miranda, she was read her rights and handcuffed. 9 days later, Andrew reported Paige gone. No struggles in the home. Andrew at work. There was little to no news coverage on the case. After a couple of weeks, before you knew it, she was a cold case. No leads, no media coverage, no Lori. Eight months passed, and so many people went on with their lives. Lori's dad quit his job, moved from Tallahassee, Florida, to Thomasville, Georgia, with the young preteen still missing. It is unclear how soon he moved after Lori's disappearance, but 10 months is still too soon. If she came home, where would she go? Grieving parents usually keep their kids' rooms untouched. Outside from cleaning it, they often look forward to the kids coming home and being at home. Instead, Wiley packed his home up and moved. Lori's things remained tucked in a closet, in bags. Not too odd for Wiley, as the entire home was as if he lived out of bags and boxes.
And I am not that parent that's like, oh no, my child could never. She probably did. She probably did. You said she was talking back in class. She probably was. That sounds right. You said she was daydreaming. She probably was. You said she's made a slick comment. She probably did. Did she leave in the middle of the night to go be outside voluntarily without being manipulated? In no world does that make sense. My child don't even like to be outside. She don't like to be outside in the dark.
Miranda was not cooperative with police. In fact, she was angry with their visits, combative. To strangers on social media, she didn't appear to be a grieving mother. When questioned about Lori by people tuned in to learn more about the 12-year-old, it seemed like the mom would deflect. Talk about how smart she was. Besides, she would one day be Dr. White. Or she'd explain how she doesn't owe onlookers, the world of strangers, an explanation. No, Miranda didn't know explanations to the public, but she came to the world for help. People in her comments would often remind her, so what did she expect? Often she did provide explanations despite her rants. Most people thought they were pointless, but if you decipher her videos, some had importance. Miranda White told a story. Even though she felt she was a suspect, the main suspect, the only suspect.
It's been 8 months. Where was this before? Where was this energy before? Why you wasn't kicking nobody doors in when she went missing?
In her eyes, police didn't investigate thoroughly starting June 3rd, and their efforts were needed on day one. No foul play suspected. Those words from TPD was the end of any respect or faith she had in the department, she reported on Live. During Lori's disappearance, she continued her schooling. Dr. White, passionate about medical school. But to outsiders, she seemed emotionless about Lori missing. Was it because police handcuffed her when she did a welfare check? Was this her way of dealing with grief, or did she know where Lori was? Even after surveillance of those closest to Lori, police had no signs of life from the soon-to-be 13-year-old. There is no way a child this young could survive this long with no help.
Disappeared. I mean, why did you, Margie Summers, have to form the search committee? Why did you have to go out looking for her? Tell me about that.
Because other little girls, there's press conferences, there's rallies, there's news cameras, there's all kinds of attention. And my student, someone I cared about, was getting none. That's not fair.
Although many people seem to forget or move on with their lives, Pastor Rudy Ferguson would purchase signs to keep awareness on the missing girl. Lori Paige's name was posted all over Tallahassee. It was like he adopted the young girl, certainly adopted her name in the midst of triumph, and contributed in ways he deemed beneficial to bringing Lori home. But there's one person who said Lori's name to anyone who would listen. In my honest opinion, Margaret was the spare key, Lori's angel. Lori's mom and dad seemed to have failed, but she advocated for young Lori as her own. She aggravated investigators. She knocked on doors. Maybe not her efforts alone, but indeed her efforts got the attention of Nancy Grace, and Lori would gain some media coverage again. Police would conduct search parties. The FBI would offer a $15,000 reward. Nancy's interview was heartfelt, compassionate, but there was no words from mom or dad during this interview. Police went to Griffin Middle School to question Lori's friends, associates, teachers, counselors, anyone that may know something. A Reddit post created under a fake account, Christmas 850, claimed Lori was being groomed by an adult male in his 20s. That got investigators' attention. That post would lead investigators to a teacher at Griffin Middle School, Christian Elridge. Elridge reportedly knew nothing. She suggested other teachers to speak with, outside of confirming her accusation was only a rumor. After talking to staff and students, Lori was a good kid who started acting out approximately a month before school ended in May. The only thing out of the ordinary is a teacher reported Lori attempting to flirt with him. She went on to write a note, "Do you like me? Yes or no?" No, he isn't suspected because he reported both incidents immediately, and Lori was moved to another classroom. Lori also started defending herself against bullies, which was out of the ordinary. Friends reported Lori was lonely. She didn't like her dad because he was abusive, although she never had any bruises, and talked about the rumors they heard. Lori was being sex trafficked. She'd been cut up, put in a bag, and thrown in the dump. She was in the trunk of a car. So many accusations, bizarre stories, coming from middle schoolers, but none with any substance.
I'm just irritated. I'm irritated because I've asked TPD questions and they're not being answered. I found out information from a roundabout way. Nobody called me. Nobody was going to call me. Nobody was going to call me.
Nancy Grace's interview would bring more awareness to Lori's story, more media coverage, but still no Lori. So far, police have conducted searches, looked for blood in Wiley's Tallahassee home, talked to those who knew Lori, her grandmother, Brooklyn Paige, her mom's wife, LaTonya White, her dad, Andrew, and his brother, Antoine. Still, no Lori. On February 14, 2024, police would get hope as they would have a report of a girl being kidnapped, trapped in a shed. Turns out the girl lived up the street from Lori, but it was just a prank she was doing on her friend. Andrew would go talk to investigators on February 20th, 2024 at 2:30 p.m. He originally scheduled the interview for 9 a.m., but missed it with no warning. Although he intentionally missed it, when he did show up, he showed up with his lawyer, turning police attention almost fully on him, leaving police with more questions, more suspicion than answers. On February 28, 2024, police would serve Wiley with a search warrant to include Wiley's baby, his car, cell phones, computers, torn papers, and more. It was noted that Dad had more emotions for the car than his only daughter, the one he'd only had 2 real visits with before he took on the role of a single dad. Police would have Brooklyn Paige, Miranda's mother, to do a control call with Andrew, in spite of Miranda believing Brooklyn, yes, her mom, could be responsible. Wiley deflected questions about Lori, remained emotionless as Brooklyn became angry. She had to be consoled by officers after the phone call. Talks with Andrew's boss at Jefferson Correctional Institute, Captain Robinson, revealed she did not know he had a child. There was never any talks of him trying to change his schedule for childcare. Not even after Lori's disappearance did Wiley inform his boss he was a dad.
If a child comes in and doesn't have on any shoes, and I know was missing, I have questions. And so what they told me was that the dad picked her up from school and they went home. That's what they told me, but that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. My little girl spent the night outside barefoot. We're going to the hospital. And then after that, we're going to a psychiatric facility because something is wrong. Something is wrong. This is not normal behavior. So I'm going to try to get to the bottom of it. But I was brushed off. Well, she was found, like she said, that people keep telling me how I'm supposed to feel. So, like, I should be fine that now she's found okay. I should be okay. But I'm not. What happened in these times? What happened to you? What happened? Who all was there? What happened? And I'm not going to move forward until I get that answer from Lori. Like, I'm not. And maybe she didn't want to talk. I did not see Lori, right? I did not see Lori. And the reason why I didn't have as much contact with Lori as I wanted to was because her dad would not let me talk to her. Her father would not let me talk to her. Lori does not have social media.
On April 10, 2024, credit card receipts showed Andrew bought a version of the Plan B pill. That pill wasn't for Andrew's girlfriend Simone or Janie, an ex that kept in touch with Wiley over the years through conversation. Janie, reported Wiley was a drunk, a violent drunk. When they dated, she wouldn't allow long visits around her kids for that reason. She said Wiley seemed angry that Paige was there, and after she disappeared, Wiley got angry if he talked about her. And to ask about his help in finding his daughter could injure a relationship with Andrew, as this infuriated him.
Cut it out. Which is why I'm not talking to none of y'all. I don't have nothing to say to nobody. Because y'all don't listen to me. This is not a cooperation because what I'm asking you for, you are not providing me. So what you're asking me for, I am not providing you. And the fact that you feel like entitled to my cooperation is wild. You want me to cooperate now, but y'all wasn't cooperating with me when I was in the police department on 7th Ave jumping up and down. Now you want me to cooperate? Yeah, because now you got to be accountable. Now you have to be accountable. I don't have to prove no case to you. I don't have to prove to you that I don't have her. I wish I had her. But I don't have to prove. You can follow me around all day, every day. You can read the phone records. You can do whatever you need to do. But y'all should have been did this. And I don't know what the delay was, but
Andrew
whatever
tried
it
to
was, it has
conceal the
potentially
chip
cost
and
me
the
the
blood in
life of
his
my
car.
only child.
But nearly 2 years later, Wiley will remember Margaret, Lori's teacher, promised to him, "We won't stop until we find her." She just didn't know the dad she empathized with was the monster who took Lori's life. Margaret didn't stop until Lori was found, singing a different tune from "Where's Lori" to "Justice for Lori." Lori has gained an entire city of family who now awaits the trial of her dad and send condolences to Lori's family, the ones who truly love baby girl. And Margaret Summers, a teacher that did not stop.